School Board August 19th meeting to order. First item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Seeing none for the administration. Anybody else? All right, not seeing any. What's the pleasure of the board on the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item is public communication. Anybody in the audience wish to speak with us? Seeing nobody rising, we'll move on to the administrator's report. First item on there is the update on the Mandan High School construction and back-to-school activities. Dr. Bitts.
Yeah, I'd love our high school to be further along than it is, but we are making progress. They're continuing to pour cement outside. They're testing fire alarms inside. They're laying flooring. I think we're going to be ready to go next week. I hope we're ready to go next week. And we're looking forward to having kids in. I know Monday and Tuesday he's got all 4 grades in there, the seniors, the juniors, freshmen and sophomore coming in for 2-hour periods to get their device, get their schedule, be able to walk the building and see. And then I think in the evening he's from 6 to 8 each evening where parents can come in. Not an open house, nothing formal, but they can see our high school and get a feel for it. Again, you know there's going to be certain areas of it that are not complete, but we have workarounds for those, and we're looking forward to starting school next week on Wednesday.
Dr. Bitts, just a couple questions on that I've seen in relation to it is access between those work areas and then also background checks, if you could address both those.
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty easy for us to, I don't know if segregate's the right word, but quarantine our construction workers in the auditorium, in the new gym, and in the CTE shops. Those areas, they won't be roaming the halls with our students. They won't be sharing bathrooms with them. They're going to have their own area to park. So I think it's going to be, they won't be mixing with our student population. And also background checks. There are people working there today that probably won't be there next week because of their background check. Each of the companies that has employees that work there have to verify that they've done a background check on the employees that are there and that they meet our requirements. So.
All right. Any other questions?
With that schedule for the freshmen up, is that been mailed out? Has that been mailed out?
I believe, yeah, I got mine at home for my son. I also got a remind message today with the parking map. So yeah, that was sent out. And actually what was sent, I don't know if you have remind, but it was sent out remind and it tells the schedule is there. I can share it with you after the meeting, but if somebody didn't get it, they can give us a call and we'll get them the schedule.
Any other questions? Thanks you guys for all your hard work. All the staff do, and there's a lot of time spent on that. Next item on the agenda is a 24-25 enrollment update.
Mr. Legacy shut me off. He doesn't want to hear me anymore. I struggled with how to share this with you, and I actually just printed it out of our software, and I printed it out on Thursday, and it's the first page is the enrollment as of what we're expecting on the first day, who we've got entered in, who we've pulled out that is moving. You can see that I've got green highlighted on the bottom. We call it District School MPS 1. Those are our homeschool students, our private school students. Basically, those are our students that we provide, that we have in our system that we don't get paid for. So we have 4,640 students. I subtract those 176 away. So we have 4,464 that we're expecting. This was as of Thursday. That is up 92 from August 28th a year ago. I don't think we're going to be up quite that many. August 28th last year we were 4 days in and we had more kids that we were able to pull out. But I do think we're going to be up 60 to 70 kids, I think, will be up. We'll know more around Labor Day. We'll have a better idea where we're at. Real close to what RSP, the company that we have that contracts, I have their sheet, I think is the fourth page of your packet. They had projected we're going to be at 4390. They do not count our early childhood special ed kids. We have 54 of those, so if you take those out, we're a little over. We're about 20 students over what they projected. And then lastly, if you look on, the first sheet, I did it by hand there, and I did it by building, and I did use different color ink. Well, I lost it, but there we go. And you can see that Mary Stark is one school that was low last year that we tried to get some students to. We did some boundary adjustments. And again, we don't, if you're in a school and you're doing well, we let you stay in that school. We don't move kids just to move kids. But as new people move into those areas, those adjustments are taking place. And you can see Mary Stark, for example, is up 14. Lakewood is up 19. A couple of our larger schools, Fort Lincoln is down 10. Red Trail is down 6. So we're trying to do that. I think it's working. It's just not a overnight process where we make those adjustments. I could answer any questions you have in the summary that I have in your packet.
Any questions for Dr. Bitts?
And again, we'll know more the first meeting in
It
September.
always just amazes me how them guys can project 4 or 5 years out and get as close as they do.
Yeah, they do a nice job.
Any questions? If not, we'll move on to the next one, an update on the health insurance and near-site clinic. Mr. Legacy.
Good evening. Get to share with you a positive update on health insurance, which doesn't happen all the time in today's day and age. Our health insurance committee met with our consultants last Thursday to discuss our health insurance utilization report year to date and our renewal for next year. Year to date, our health insurance plan is running at 87% under budget, which is really good, which means that we have healthy staff. We are saving money there, which is saving money towards premiums going in the future. With the history of our health insurance plan for the last 3 years, we've been operating in the low 90% under budget. So to come in at 87% is really positive for us. With that information, Brown & Brown, who was our consultant, had multiple options for renewal. And the Health Insurance Committee unanimously chose a 1.4% increase for health insurance premiums this year. This does include participation in a stop-loss refund program, which is new for us, which should provide further savings in the future, as well as an additional 1% of premiums going towards our reserves in the future. That's new for us as well. That additional 1% for reserves, the plan is to help offset any future increases next year or the following year where we may have a 7% increase that hopefully we can buy that down to a lower amount. So really positive news. Our health insurance fund is operating really positively. That's good for the district and good for our employees. So any questions on health insurance before I talk about the clinic? Okay. Another fun update. Medallis Medical has signed a lease on a building right next to the Balancing Goat coffee shop for our near-site clinic. We are looking at opening early 2025, so that's exciting for our staff. I know Dr. Bitts and Dr. Rederath will be sharing this with our staff as they do their school tours before school and letting them know. So we're excited to announce that things are moving there.
That's good. Yeah. Questions? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is tribal input of consolidated applications, Titles 1, 2, and 4. Dr. Rederath.
Yes, as you may remember from past years, because we are within 60 miles of a reservation, on our federal funding, we have to do consultation with the Health, Education, and Welfare Committee down at Standing Rock. So we had the opportunity to go down on the 8th. We actually went down with Bismarck Public Schools. Travis Olvers, our Native American Family Liaison, went with me, and it was a really good visit, really good conversations with how we can continue to collaborate and partner together, both on professional development and getting their input into our our application. They were excited with what we're doing in Mandan and really supportive of the things that we've done and the work we do and our goals moving forward. So you will see that signed consultation as part of the packet. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. We will do Title VI consultation in the spring. That's our specific funding to our Native American students. So this was just for the consolidated application.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Next item is update on the consolidated application.
Yes, the next part of your packet, I gave you a similar flyer in June when we did our initial consolidated application. We've got our final numbers back. It's always kind of a back and forth on this. So I just wanted to give you an updated overview of it. Not huge changes. You'll see I did fix the green that you'll see down there, the green chart that has all of our Title I schools on there and their enrollment and their poverty rates for your information. But just updated numbers. One of the things you'll notice are Title II, which is our preparing, training, and recruiting highly qualified teachers, did increase by about $30,000. So that's like our instructional coaches, our district-wide professional development. We saw a little bit of a decrease in Title IV, but nothing real substantive there. And just a reminder that we do run our lookalike programs in our non-Title I schools. I think that's an important piece for equity for us. We want to make sure that all kids have opportunities to access those services.
And just for a refresher for everybody, you got
Yeah.
Christ the King, St. Joe's, and Holy Family on here.
Yes.
Why that's on ours, just so we can.
Yeah, students who would be in the boundaries of our Title I schools, so you're in the boundaries of Mary Stark, Roosevelt, Lakewood, the middle school, Custer, who are attending those schools are then eligible for Title I services as well. And I'm glad you mentioned that. You'll notice compared to previous years, those numbers are down a bit. Because Lewis and Clark dropped off of Title I and we brought on the middle school, our parochial schools had less students in our Title I areas because typically a lot of those middle schoolers will come to us for middle school or go over to Bismarck. I think I lost my mic briefly there. And so that's why you see those numbers. So right now, Christ the King has 11 students that would qualify. So we have a staff member from Mary Stark that will go there on a regular schedule to service those students. Because St. Joe's and Holy Family had less students, they still will get their Title II and IV money from us because that's collaborative as well. And then we'll just do some consultation on those two students that were to qualify. It's not enough to where we'd have a staff member going there on a regular basis.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Can you go through the update on the behavioral health grant too?
Yes, there's two different grants I want to touch on. I just included a handout on the behavioral health grant. It's something that we've been participating now. I believe this is the 4th year. The fundamental part of it is we bill Medicaid for various services in our district, PT, OT, speech, and this behavioral health grant allows us to apply for money up to what we billed for. And we can use this money. We use it to partner with Nexus Path. We have 3 family case managers. Well, 2, we're looking to hire a 3rd that can work with our most at-risk families for wraparound services and connect them with school. We also use this money for some site-based individual counseling services that we provide at school through Together Counseling and through some other providers. I want to give Amy and before her, Deb Ova, and a lot of credit. 5 years ago, when we first started applying for this, we got $5,400 back because that's all we were billing out in Medicaid because it's time intensive, and they've really done a nice job of streamlining that process and doing a lot of work on that. And this year, we're anticipating to get $199,000 in behavioral health grant money. That's real impactful money for us. So that's been a really nice increase that we've seen there on that. So I'm excited for that for us.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You said we can bill up to what we bill for Medicaid.
Yep.
So we get a Medicaid payment plus we get the grant?
No, so what we build out in Medicaid is what we can apply for in this grant. So we build out last year $199,000 in Medicaid. So that's how much they'll award us in this grant. They use that as the kind of the metric for how much we're eligible for.
We're getting paid for our services,
Yeah.
not twice, once.
Yep. Yep.
I wasn't sure if they were using it as a limitation on it, so.
No, and we've looked at expanding our ways and how we can bill Medicaid. Like I said, it is time intensive. Depending on the student, we can lose quite a bit of it to the state too. So it's just figuring out what's worth the time and energy. But I think we found a nice balance there. And there was one other grant I wanted to touch on called the System of Cares grant. This is one-time money. Really, the focus is about how do we unify systems across the board and work together. We were awarded initially $45,000 this spring. We used it. That's why we're adding a third case manager with Nexus Path. Well, we were recently notified that we were awarded an additional $90,000 through this grant. We need to do some work on how we want to utilize that because it is one-time money. But we're excited to have the opportunity to look into that for further services for our students.
Great. Anybody else have questions? Comments? Thank you. Thank you all for the work you do on this one, too. All right, then we'll go on to the next item on the agenda is consent agenda, review and consider approval of previous board minutes from August 5th, 2024. What are the wishes of the board?
I would move that we approve the previous board minutes.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second?
A second.
And we have a second. Thank you. We have a motion and a second to review and approve the previous board minutes on the consent agenda. Please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business review and consider approval of the 24-25 athletic handbook. Last meeting, we had some questions on it. We brought it back here. So, Dr. Pitts, I think I'll turn it over to you, and then we can go from there.
Sure. On page 27 of your packet, page 15 of the athletic handbook, at our last meeting, you had some questions about logo use and maybe that should be included in the handbook. We did include it. Janelle Haishan helped me, okay, she did it. She didn't help me. She did it. I'll just be clear about that. She added a paragraph on logo use. We still have some formatting to do. I see how that turned out, but otherwise I think we addressed the concerns that you had with the handbook.
You did.
All right. Any other questions on it? What are the wishes of the board?
I would move to accept the Mandan High School Athletic Handbook as presented.
All right. Thank you. We have a second?
I'll
And we have a second. Any further discussion, comments, questions? Hearing and seeing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on agenda is new business, review and consider approval of open enrollments application seeking a deadline waiver. They were laying on your desk here. We can go through those. Dr. Rederath?
Yeah, we would, on all of them, we would recommend approval. They are individuals and families that were with us and moved and feel strongly that they want to continue to have their students attend here in Mandan, which we would love to have them do.
All right, thank you. Any questions, or what are the wishes of the board on these?
I would move that we accept the open enrollment applications.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussions? Any questions? Seeing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on the agenda is August 19th. We have a non-annual board retreat, which is tonight at 6:15 in City Hall, and it's going to be right behind us, correct? August 26th, Facilities and Finance, 5 o'clock, New Mandan High School. You guys will get out the location where to meet for that, right? Tuesday, September 3rd, regular school board meeting at 7 o'clock. Notice the time change, 7 o'clock. September 16th, regular school board at 5:30 City Hall, and September 16th is the budget hearing at City Hall, so we'll talk about all those then at that point in time. Any other meetings that are not on here we need to be aware of? All right, thank you. If not, we'll adjourn this meeting, and we'll start up at the annual board retreat at 6:15. Thanks, everybody.